daily grind. The open road of your future is laid out ahead, and it looks smooth, calm, and filled with endless possibilities. But suddenly, life throws you a detour. Maybe the stock market takes a dive, or an unexpected medical expense creeps up. Perhaps the cost of living skyrockets, and those savings don't seem as secure as they once did. Your perfectly mapped out retirement plan now feels uncertain, and stress begins to creep in. That vision you had of beautiful sunsets, traveling with your spouse, or spoiling your grandkids, it's at risk now, slipping away, all because of these unexpected roadblocks. Many retirees find themselves navigating more twists and turns than bargained for. And the truth is, without the right plan in place, one wrong turn can throw off your entire retirement. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to face these challenges head on. Just like a GPS will reroute you when there's construction or a traffic jam, your retirement plan needs to be flexible enough to adjust to life's detours. There's always a way to get back on track, so take a deep breath. We're going to help you navigate this journey together starting today. Welcome to Retirement Rescue Weekly, where we throw a lifeline to your financial future. This podcast is dedicated to helping rescue retirees from potential dangers that appear in retirement. I'm Kurt Arnold, your host and financial advocate. I'll guide you through the stormy seas of retirement. We'll tackle inflation, taxation, market volatility, and healthcare costs. Together, we'll secure your retirement. Tune in and start your rescue mission today. Well, hello again for another episode of Retirement Rescue Weekly. I am Kurt Arnold, the financial advocate and host. Thank you for joining me. This episode is going to be about the retirement roadmap. Now, whenever I think about driving, I grew up in Wisconsin, by the way, cheesehead here. I think about I always joke there's two seasons on the roads. There was orange cone season and snow. So either there was construction or there was snow, and either way, it was an annoyance for you trying to get around town or trying to get across to wherever. And then in where I live now in Tampa, the joke is Tampa is always an hour away from Tampa. So there's always something that impedes our progress, gets in the way. And it's very much like life. When we're thinking about what we want to do, there's always things that don't always go our way. And it happens a lot in retirement too. I remember during the pandemic, I had people coming up to me who just were done with work. Like, I want to be done. I want to retire. And they'd come up to me and say, Kurt, how do I retire? I don't even know what I need to know. I don't even know what I should ask you. How do I retire? And people thought, well, I just hand in my keys, get my gold watch. That's it. And it was a lot more than that. And I had one guy even said, Kurt, this is hard. I said, well, that's why I'm here. So I can help you with that. So we're going to kind of talk today about the process, different things I look at to help coach someone when they get in that retirement red zone, when they're close to retirement or into retirement, the things they need to be thinking about so they can actually retire successfully and make sure they stay retired successfully. So for more on that, let's go to this. Let's take a road trip. Now, back in the day, we had printed maps or MapQuest directions. Today, the first thing you're going to do is type your destination into your GPS. You want to know where you're going, but more importantly, you want to know where you're starting from. The same concept applies to retirement. Before we can create a successful retirement plan, we need to understand our current situation.
Hey Siri, take me to retirement.
Calculating. Starting route to retirement. Continue on interstate for 200 miles.
So how do you expect to reach your destination without knowing your current location? Retirement planning is no different. To build a successful roadmap for your financial future, you first need a clear picture of where you stand today. This means taking a deep dive into your finances, how much you've saved, what your current income sources are, and how you manage your spending. Will you have a pension? Are you relying on Social Security? And what other income streams like rental income or annuities? And just as important, you need to consider what financial obligations are weighing you down. Do you have any debts such as mortgage, car payments, credit card balances? All of these will factor into defining your starting point. Your financial situation is the fuel for your journey. If you're not clear on how much you have or how much you'll need, it's easy to stray off course. Whether you're ahead of the curve or catching up, Understanding your current financial landscape will help ensure your roadmap is accurate and reliable. As we continue down the retirement road, our first major stop is creating a retirement paycheck. During your working years, you received a steady paycheck that covers your daily needs and lifestyles. But in retirement, that paycheck from your job disappears. So how do we replace it? Building a reliable retirement paycheck means creating an income plan that provides a steady and predictable flow of money throughout your retirement years. This is the foundation of your financial security. It's what keeps your day-to-day life running smoothly. Your retirement income might come from multiple sources. For many, Social Security will be a significant component. For others, a pension might provide consistent income. Beyond these, you also need to consider how to draw from your retirement accounts like your 401k, IRA, or any investments that you've built up over the years. If you have rental properties or decide to work part-time, these sources can also supplement your income. The key is to figure out how these income streams come together to form a paycheck that's reliable enough to last through the ups and downs of retirement. Think back to your 40s. Let's say through your job you're bringing home $4,000 per month net in income. What would you do if your expenses became more than your income? Let's say your expenses are now $4,500 per month. What do? You essentially have three options. Find a newer, higher paying job, find a part-time job to supplement income, or cut expenses. Okay, so let's fast forward to your 70s. Same scenario. What do? This is where stress adds up quickly. You aren't working anymore. Do you want to have to go back to work? Do you want to have to work part-time? Do you want to have to start cutting expenses? That might mean no more travel or downsizing, which might have not been your vision for retirement. To do this successfully, you'll want to consider a few things. How much income do you think you need each month? What are your fixed costs? Do you have flexibility for discretionary spending like travel or hobbies? And crucially, how can you structure your income to grow with inflation and weather market volatility? This is why building a retirement paycheck is about more than just gathering income sources. It's about carefully planning how to tap into those resources at the right time. You'll need a plan that considers taxes, inflation, and your expected lifespan. Just like you rely on a paycheck during your working years, you need a retirement paycheck that keeps coming month after month, ensuring your financial stability no matter what lies ahead.
Continue on Interstate for 500 miles.
Now that we've mapped out your retirement paycheck, it's time to look at the fuel that will keep you going throughout your journey, your investments. As we approach this fork in the road, it's important to understand that your investment strategy is a key part of reaching your retirement destination. In retirement, your investment plan must balance two key factors: growth and protection. On one hand, you need your money to grow to pace with inflation and provide enough income for the long haul. But on the other hand, you can't afford to take unnecessary risks that could lead to large losses just when you need the money most. Just like fuel powers your car, your investments power your retirement. But here's the challenge. You need enough fuel to make it through the whole trip, not just the first few miles. That's why a well-structured portfolio is critical. It helps you achieve the growth you need early in retirement while protecting against major risks as you age. Now, early on, your investment strategy may lean more towards growth. This helps your savings last through what could be a retirement of 20, 30, even 40 years. But as you move further into retirement, it becomes more important to shift towards protection, preserving your hard-earned money and making sure it's there when you need it. The key is to maintain a balance that evolves with your needs. You wouldn't want to run out of fuel midway through the trip, but you also don't want to overload the car and make the ride rougher than it needs to be. This means carefully choosing how much to allocate towards growth-focused investments like stocks and how much to allocate towards income-generating or more conservative investments like bonds. And just like any journey, your route may need to be adjusted. Changes in the market, the economy, or even your personal life may mean it's time to rebalance your investments. It's important to check in regularly with your plan to make sure your fuel, your investments, are still aligned with your needs and goals. We are about to hit one of the most common but often overlooked obstacles, taxes. Taxes like tolls on a highway can take a significant bite out of your retirement savings if you're not prepared. That's why it's so important to have a well thought out tax plan as part of your retirement roadmap. Many Americans have tax deferred accounts like 401k or IRAs. These accounts allowed your investments to grow without being taxed along the way, but once you start withdrawing in retirement, this money becomes taxable income. This is where planning ahead is crucial. Understanding when and how to take withdrawals to avoid pushing yourself into higher tax brackets is a key part of your tax strategy.
Recalculating. Make a U-turn.
The pavement starts to get a little rough. Life's road is rarely perfectly smooth, and in retirement, those bumps in the road often come in the form of unexpected medical expenses and long-term care needs. These potholes represent real financial risks that can throw off even the best laid retirement plans. Medical costs are one of the biggest and often most underestimated expenses in retirement. Even with Medicare, healthcare isn't free. Co-pays, deductibles, prescription medications, and other out-of-pocket costs can add up quickly. Without a plan, these expenses can become significant detours, diverting your savings away from your original goals. That's why planning for healthcare is a critical part of your retirement roadmap. Medicare will cover many of your healthcare needs, but it doesn't cover everything. For instance, Medicare does not cover long-term care, and this is where many retirees face the greatest financial risks. Long-term care includes things like nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and in-home care. The cost for these services can be staggering and sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a few years. Now we've reached the final stop on your retirement roadmap, estate planning. Just like every road trip has a destination, your financial journey must have a clear end goal, ensuring that everything you've worked hard for reaches the next generation smoothly. This is where estate planning becomes essential. Think of estate planning as making sure your vehicle arrives at its final destination safely with all of your belongings intact. It's the final step to ensure your legacy is protected and that your wishes are honored, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones. Estate planning is more than just transferring money. It's about making sure your assets and legacy are passed on the way you intend. The key components include wills, trusts, and other legal documents that outline how your estate will be handled and who will be in charge of managing your affairs after you're gone. A will, for example, is a foundational document that allows you to specify how you want your assets distributed and who will manage your estate. But a will on its own may not always be enough, especially if you want to avoid probate, minimize taxes, or provide specific instructions on how your assets should be used. Life as we know it is full of unexpected twists and turns. No matter how well we plan, there will always be detours, accidents, roadblocks along the way. And your retirement journey is no different. Whether it's a sudden market downturn, rising tax rates, or an unexpected medical bill, these financial accidents can knock you off course if you're not prepared. The key to successfully navigating these challenges is flexibility. Just like your GPS automatically recalculates when you miss a turn or hit a detour, your retirement roadmap needs to be able to adjust as well. Having a plan that's adaptable to changing circumstances is essential. After navigating through the detours, roadblocks, and adjustments, the road ahead finally clears. Your destination is just around the corner, and the journey has brought you through all the critical steps of your retirement roadmap. By following this map, your income plan, investment strategy, tax planning, healthcare planning, and estate planning, you've stayed on the course, even when the road was not smooth. Each piece of this plan has worked together to guide you through retirement with confidence. Your income plan has provided a reliable stream of money to cover your day-to-day expenses. Your investment strategy has fueled your journey, ensuring your savings lasted as long as you needed them to. Your tax plan has minimized the tolls along the way, keeping more of your money in your pocket. Your healthcare and long-term care plan protected you from unexpected financial shocks, and your estate plan ensured your legacy was secure. Following this roadmap, you've been able to navigate the ups and downs, adjust when needed, and avoid major financial pitfalls. Now you're on the final stretch with your destination clearly in sight. But remember, staying the course isn't just about setting your plan once and forgetting about it. Just like you wouldn't rely on outdated maps when driving, your retirement roadmap requires regular updates. Life changes, market change, and your goals may evolve. By checking in regularly, making necessary adjustments, and staying engaged with your plan, you ensure that your journey continues smoothly no matter what lies ahead.
Congratulations. You have arrived. Welcome to retirement.
So hopefully you could tell with that ride along with me as I drove to retirement how important it is actually that we look at all these different things. I think some people think, I see this when I look online and read articles, and I sometimes I hear it when I go to seminars, when people think they have to have a certain amount of money, this pile of money, and then they can retire. Like that's the goal, which may or may not be accurate, but there's other things you have to be thinking about as well. And they all have to be working together and talking to each other, because if we, don't have this part of the plan working with this, that's where things can start going sideways. So huge importance of having a financial plan. So with that information, where do we go from here? If you don't have a written financial plan, you need one. I don't care where you are in your life as far as, in retirement, preparing for retirement, you need to have one. I've even done financial plans for 18-year-olds before, which actually are really fun because they're really receptive to some of the things that they can do now that will make a big difference down the road. When you have a financial plan, as soon as it's printed, it's kind of out of date because life changes. So we've got to make sure we're always reviewing and adjusting it to make sure it's still appropriate as things change. Make sure we're diversifying income sources. As you know, there's a lot of things up in the air with Social Security right now. Pensions are going by the wayside. So we want to make sure we have different income sources that we can use. And also think about it too for longevity purposes. If you pass away and your spouse is left behind as a survivor, what are they going to be able to use for? So make sure we're thinking about that. Make sure we're always creating that buffer, that emergency fund for those unexpected expenses. As we know, the one thing we know about life is we don't know what's going to happen, but something will. And when it does, we have to be ready and prepared for it. We got to protect against healthcare expenses. We know that is something that's going to continue to rise. It's growing bigger than inflation. So we got to have a plan to protect against those healthcare expenses. And we got to stay flexible and open to change. Things aren't always going to go our way. And when that does, we got to make sure we have a plan to adjust when that happens. So as we like to do every single week, we want to give you a lot of education and really help you try to make some things clear and simplify those complex things. We also want to give you some more information to take after the show. And what we've done is we created an offer for you if you want to get started on your own complimentary financial plan, the retirement navigation map, where we're going to address the income plan, investment plan, tax plan, medical plan, estate plan, and everything in between, so we can help give you some clarity for you. Now, there are people in my industry that charge $5,000, $10,000 for this. We're not going to do that because we want to make sure you have access to the things that you need to know about for your own retirement. So if you don't have one, please take advantage of that. We'd love to be able to kind of give you some more clarity about your own retirement. There's going to be a link in the show notes to get more information on that. Please reach out to us. We'd love to tell you more about how we can help you with preparing for retirement. So once again, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to come to you live on Thursdays at 11 a.m. on the East Coast, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, to teach you about all these different things that are going on with retirement that you need to be knowing about. Thank you for the opportunity of having the ability to speak to you today. We look forward to seeing you again next week. In the meantime, have a great week. Thanks a lot.